Hello again. Back to AP Biology. Welcome to AP Biology. Talking about free energy, big idea number 2. And today we're going to be talking about acidic and basic conditions affect living organisms. But before I get started, I want to make a clarification on the last time we met, talking about the 4 emergent properties of water contributing to Earth's fitness for life. The actual 4 emergent properties are cohesion, moderation of temperature, insulation of bodies of water by floating ice, and last but not least, the solvent of life. I want to make sure to make that clarification and understanding of the 4 emergent properties of water that contribute to Earth's fitness for life. Okay, so now we're going to move on to acidic and basic conditions affecting living organisms. Okay, occasionally a hydrogen atom participating in a hydrogen bond between 2 water molecules shifts from one molecule to the other. When this happens, the hydrogen atom leaves its electron behind, and what is actually transferred is a hydrogen ion, a single proton with a charge of 1 positive. The water molecule that lost a proton is now a hydroxide ion, which is written as capital O, capital H, negative. And we can see that right down here. This is a hydroxide ion. Okay. Which has a charge of 1 negative, as we can see that there. The proton binds to the other water molecule, making the molecule a hydronium ion, which we can see written here. Here we have the hydronium ion and also the hydroxide ion. It is right here also. Okay? Okay, and we can see a picture that I drew on the board, the chemical reaction this way. We have the 2 water molecules, okay, that yields the hydronium ion plus the hydroxide ion. By convention, hydrogen, or should I say the hydrogen ion, is used to represent the hydronium ion. And we follow the practice here. Keep in mind, though, that the hydrogen ion does not exist on its own in an aqueous solution. It is always associated with another water molecule in the form of H3O positive. As indicated by the double arrows, this is a reversible reaction that reaches a state of dynamic equilibrium when water molecules dissociate at the same rate that they are being reformed from hydrogen, or the hydrogen ion, and the hydroxide ion. At this equilibrium point, the concentration of water molecules greatly exceeds the concentrations of the hydrogen ion. Excuse me, I am having an avalanche. Portable smartboard overload. Does not want to act right. But we're going to continue. Yeah. Okay. As I was saying, these water molecules greatly exceeds the concentration of the hydroxide ion and the hydrogen ion. Although the dissociation of water is reversible and statistically rare, it is exceedingly important in the chemistry of life. The hydrogen ion and the hydroxide ion are very reactive. Changes in their concentrations can drastically affect a cell's proteins and other complex molecules. As we have seen, the concentrations of hydrogen ion and hydroxide ion are equal in pure water, but adding certain kinds of solutes called acids and bases disrupts this balance. Okay? Since we've just mentioned that, we're going to go on to the effects of changes in pH. All right. So, talking about pH, we have the acids and we have the bases on the pH scale. What would cause an aqueous solution to have an imbalance in hydrogen, in the hydrogen ion and the hydroxide ion concentrations? I'm so glad you asked. When acids dissolve in water, they donate additional hydrogen ions to the solution. An acid is a substance that increases the hydrogen ion concentration of a solution. For example, when the hydrochloric acid, which is written here, to water, the hydrogen is added to water, the hydrogen ions dissociate from chloride ions. So we have the hydrochloric acid here, and it dissociates the hydrogen ion from the chloride ion here, as we can see. Okay? This source of hydrogen ion dissociation of water is the other source. Results in an acidic solution, one having more hydrogen ions than hydroxide ion. A substance that reduces the hydrogen ion concentration of a solution is called a base. Okay, some bases reduce the hydrogen ion concentration directly by accepting hydrogen ions. Ammonia, NH3, for instance, acts as a base when the unshared electron base in nitrogen's valence shell attracts a hydrogen ion from the solution, resulting in an ammonium ion. As we can see here, we have the ammonia base here plus the hydrogen ion, which yields ammonium, the ammonium ion, NH4. Other bases reduce the hydrogen ion concentration indirectly by dissociating to form hydroxide ions, which combine with hydrogen ions and form water. One such base is sodium hydroxide, which in water dissociates into its ions. Here, oh my, with the falling of the board, I managed to erase the sodium. So we have sodium hydroxide, which yields sodium that dissociates from the hydroxide ion. Okay. In either case, the base reduces the hydrogen ion, the hydrogen concentration, Solutions with a higher concentration of hydroxide ion than hydrogen ion are known as basic solutions. A solution in which the hydrogen ion and the hydroxide ion concentrations are equal is said to be neutral. Okay, there are also weak acids which reversibly release and accept back hydrogen ions. An example is carbonic acid, which we have right here. All right, we see the carbonic acid when it responds to a rise in the pH, the HCO, the bicarbonate ion dissociates from the hydrogen ion. But when the carbonic acid and when there's a drop in the pH, when there's a response to the drop in the pH, what happens is the carbonic acid comes together. The hydrogen ion bonds with the bicarbonate ion. And we can see here that for the carbonic acid, the hydrogen donor is the acid. Okay? And then for the bicarbonate ion, the hydrogen is the acceptor. Okay? The carbonic acid gives the hydrogen. Okay? away, but it gives the hydrogen away, but the bicarbonate ion, it accepts the hydrogen. All right? I know it sounds a little confusing, but as you go along, you will understand better. It will become more clear to you. All right? So, the pH scale. Let's talk about the pH scale for one moment. In any aqueous solution at 25 degrees Celsius, the product of the hydrogen ion and the hydroxide ion concentrations is constant at 10 to the negative 14. All right? This can be written as such. I will write it on the board. You have H. Okay, there you are. Okay. Whenever we know the concentration of either hydrogen ion or hydroxide ion in an aqueous solution, we can deduce the concentration of the other. All right. The pH scale compresses the range of hydrogen ions and hydroxide ion concentrations by employing logarithms. The pH of a solution is defined as the negative logarithm, base 10, of the hydrogen ion concentration. Okay? You have the pH equals negative log. I'll write that also, if I may. Okay. All right. So, a neutral aqueous solution would be 10 to the negative 7, which would be written as such. And you know, a negative times a negative gives you a positive. All right? So that is considered neutral when it's 7, which is what we know as water. Pure water at that. Okay? Okay, the pH can decline as hydrogen concentration increases. A pH value less than 7 denotes an acidic solution. The lower the number, the more acidic the solution. The pH for basic solutions is above 7. Most biological fluids are within the range of pH 6 through 8. All right? Okay, let's move on to buffers. The internal pH is most living cells is close to 7. Even a slight change in pH can be harmful because the chemical processes of the cell are very sensitive to the concentrations of hydrogen and hydroxide ions. And I know this to be true because purified water is used to be cleansed or purified by chlorides, certain chlorides. And the amount of chloride that is used in purified water actually changes the pH in the water. And for me, it does not agree with my system. So I cannot drink purified water because it is not 7 anymore, but the pH in the water is no longer 7. And so it does not agree with everyone, especially me. Not a good thing. Okay, I know that might be a little bit too TMI for some people, but I just had to point out that importance of knowing the importance of the pH. All right, and how it is used. All right, so now we have threats to water quality on Earth, such as considering the dependence of all life on water, contamination of rivers, lakes, seas, and rain is a dire environmental problem. And if you've watched the news lately, you've seen certain cities where there's lead in the water. Before that, there was a spill. I believe it was on the East Coast. Yes, it was on the East Coast. An oil spill, which actually damaged the some of the animal life and the marine life. The ducks or the seagulls, the oil had gotten into their feathers, and with their feathers, they breathe through their feathers. Okay, not only do they breathe their nostrils, but their feathers keep them warm, and there's oxygen that goes in and out or whatever. But anyway, because of the oil that got on their feathers, they froze to death. The seagulls froze to death. Okay, so we've had some, and then here on the West Coast, we have what we call smog. Back east, there's no such thing as smog checks. But out here, there are smog checks. Why? Because we have so many cars. We have so much of the industrial, with the pollution going, and we have so many vehicles, industrial activity that is going on. And so we have a lot of smog, which pollutes the air. Okay? And it also messes up the water, the algae and the detergents and all the things that is being dumped into the water. Okay? Many threats to water quality has been posed by human activities. Let's say, for example, the burning of fossil fuels. I've given you a lot of examples, but I'm going to give you a little more. All right? This practice, which has been increasing since the Industrial Revolution in the 1800s, releases gaseous compounds into the atmosphere, including prodigious amounts of carbon dioxide. The chemical reactions of these compounds with water alter the delicate balance of conditions for life on Earth by affecting water pH and temperature. The burning of fossil fuels is a major source of sulfur oxides and nitrous oxides. These react with water in the air to form strong acids, which fall on Earth with rain or snow. Acid precipitation refers to rain, snow, or fog with a pH lower or more acidic than pH 5.2. Uncontaminated rain has a pH of about 5.6, slightly acidic, owing to the formation of carbonic acid from carbon dioxide and water. Acid precipitation falling on land adversely affects soil chemistry and has taken a toll on some North American and European forests, which is not good. Acid precipitation and its effects on forests. The acid rain is thought to be responsible for killing trees in many forests, including the fir forest shown in the Czechoslovakia area. Okay, about half of the carbon dioxide stays in the atmosphere, acting like a reflective blanket over the planet that prevents heat from radiating into outer space. This greenhouse effect and the problems associated with it will be discussed in Chapter 55. A portion of the carbon dioxide is taken up by trees and other organisms during photosynthesis, as mentioned in Chapter 2. About 30% or so is absorbed by the oceans. In spite of the huge volume of water in the oceans, scientists worry that this absorption of so much carbon dioxide will harm marine life and ecosystems. When carbon dioxide dissolves in seawater, it reacts with water to form carbonic acid, H2CO3. that concludes chapter 3 on water and the fitness of the environment. Right? Next time I will be talking to you, we will be discussing, I will let you know what we will be discussing. But thanks for listening, and we'll be talking to you soon. Ta-ta!